y'all doing? I am Jessica Christian, your independent Cincy consultant, and I am here today because I'm wanting to talk to you guys a little bit about network marketing and not necessarily about any particular company. You guys know that like I said earlier, I'm your independent Cincy consultant, but I'm not here necessarily to talk about just Cincy. This is for any network marketing business out there or direct sales, whichever you would like to call it. But today we are going to be talking a little bit about prospecting and what that means. So any business, whenever you are trying to get your business up and going and off the ground, you have to do things in order to create a audience for yourself, whether that be, and I'm not talking about an audience for like a live feed that I'm doing right now. I'm talking about people who are either going to be your customers, they're either going to be your team members, they're going to be somebody that just helps you spread the word. They're going to be somebody who gives you awesome referrals. There's so many different aspects of how you can reach out to people and prospect within your network marketing business. And one of the things that I liked about, let me just show you this book that I like to read. And this girl here is, hi, Melissa, how are you doing? This girl here, her name is Sarah Robbins, and she has this book that's called Rock Your Network Marketing Business. Amazing book because it leads you to many ideas on how she did things to run her company, her business, but not to do things like she did, but because it's not the same. That's her business, but you're to take that or any other book, Mary Christensen or anybody else that's succeeded in this field, and you take their ideas that worked for them, and then you tweak them to make them work for you and your business, because your business is going to be, hi, Mama. My mama just hopped on, you guys. Hi, Kirby. How are you doing? It's good to see you on here today. But you take the ideas that you have seen work in other network marketing businesses in their lives and in their job. And like I said, you're not going to use those same ideas and take them and be like, oh, Sarah did it this way, or, oh, Robin did it this way, or, you have to take their idea if you like it, and then you tweak it to where it works for you and your life and your business, because you can't do everything the way somebody else does it. But the point of this live today is to talk about prospecting and what prospecting is. So when you think about the California Gold Rush back in the 1800s, what did you have? You had prospectors, right? So the prospector, which is you, the business owner, they go prospecting, which is looking for prospects, which is the item or the person in this case that you're looking for. So you create a prospect list in your network marketing business. Hi, brother and sister Stutzman. How are you guys doing? And whenever you get your list together of prospects that you have, then you look at these individual people, not as a whole, but you look at them individually and think, how will Sally benefit, my business? And then you say, how can my business benefit Sally? All right. So would Sally be a good team member? Would Sally be just a good customer? Or would Sally be a good host if your network marketing business does parties? Sally may not be interested in any of that, but Sally Mae can give you good referrals that can help you. And so you go through your list, your prospect list, okay, and you pick each person and you dissect your list is basically what you're doing. You figure out what each of those people can do for your business, but then you must ask yourself, what can my business do for those people? Okay, because if you go into it full throttle with it's all about me, it's all about my business, you are not going to get very far. I promise you that. You have to be concerned with the needs and the wants of other people and what it can do to help them. So I want you to think about, like I was saying, the California Gold Rush. So when of course, over time, they created machines that helped them and things became easier. It still wasn't easy, but it became easier. But when they first got started, when they were on the ground level work, they would do this thing called panning. Okay, and they would get these pans and they would sit in this water, this flowing water, for hours and hours, 8 to 12 hours a day. And they would scoop as the water naturally flowed through, right? And then they would get this pan and they would do what was called panning, and they would shake this pan back and forth, and they were sifting as they were going through the mud and the water and the little pebbles and the rocks, sometimes just to find little slivers of gold, sometimes to find nothing. And it was a lot of hard work. I mean, and this water was cold water, you guys. I mean, it was a life threatening situation. Hi, how are you, Santos? It's good to see you on here today. I haven't talked to you in forever. How have you been? But anyways, you think about the situation that they put themselves in, okay? And these were life-threatening situations, all to better themselves in their life, right? So it's kind of the same with network marketing. You are putting yourself out there consistently, and it's rough and it's hard, and it's just an antagonizing thing to deal with on some days. You don't want to get up and go. I mean, you think about it. They're getting up and going out into 40-degree water where they're waist deep in it sometimes all day long, and taking the chance on getting pneumonia and everything else, not to mention the damage that they're doing to their feet and stuff. But they did that even when they didn't want to, because they knew what was going to happen. Hi, Debbie, how are you? They knew what was going to happen eventually if they kept doing it, if they stuck to it. So what my point is here is you can't give up. And it doesn't matter how hard it gets. If you know what you're working for and you stay consistent, it's not everybody that comes into your business is going to stay. Not everybody that comes into your business is going to, skyrocket and do the big things that you want them to do in order to get you where you want to be in your business. Some people may just be in it just to, purchase the product for themselves. Okay. But those people are needed as well. But in order to find your gold nuggets, the people that are going to skyrocket and boom, you have to do, I'm going to show you guys this picture. I love this picture because it is, I don't know if you can see it or not, but that is two gold miners, and they are sifting through sand and rock and water and mud. And they were doing this, and I look at that picture all the time because they consistently did it no matter how hard it got. They just kept on and kept on and kept on because they knew what they were working for. And they knew that if they kept on, no matter how much of that, I mean, you look at it, how much of that did they put into the top of that? And how much of it poured out of the bottom? Okay, stuff that was never going to last, stuff that wasn't going to stick around, all of this dirt and stuff, it just sifted through the bottom, right? But eventually they would catch on to these little nuggets of gold. All right. And that's why no matter how hard you've worked, if you get one golden person on your team and you're like, oh, that's it, I've done what I did and I've accomplished what I came to accomplish. That's not it. I promise you, because you don't ever know what's going to happen in that person's life that may make them need to venture off and do something else with their life for a while. I know that I had a pretty good sized team built up with my company. And when I moved to Oklahoma, I felt like God was leading me to focus on the church more. So in order to stay in what I felt like was God's will for me, I canceled out of my company. Well, when I did that, I lost my team that I had built up. Okay. And that, I'm sure, affected the lady that was above me. Okay, so you never know when one of your golden nuggets will have a change of track or a change of pace. And so it's always important to continue to prospect, no matter how many that you have. You just continue to prospect. And no matter how many sift through and you lose, you still continue to prospect. You may go through 200 people before you find one good person, but the time that you've put into it is time, well spent, and it's time worth it. And you will eventually see. How are you guys all doing today? You will eventually see the benefits out of it, okay? And what I'm saying basically is it doesn't matter how hard it gets. It just matters that you keep working and you keep focused, and you know what you are doing and what your goal is. And that's another thing, you guys. You have to know your why. If you don't know why that is so strong that it gets a hold of your heart, then you are never going to put the work and the effort in. Hi, Brother Jim. How are you doing? If you don't know your why, and if your why is not deep enough and strong enough in your heart, then you're never going to be able to put enough effort and enough work in to get you where you want to be in your network marketing business. So if you guys have any questions about network marketing or about my company specifically, for you guys that have hopped on and didn't hear me say, I'm sure you all know, but I'm an independent Cincy consultant in the northeastern part of Oklahoma. And I would love to answer any questions that you guys have about network marketing. And it's so good to see all of you guys hop on today. All right. So I want you to think about something, and I think I've mentioned this before whenever I was live, but when Thomas Edison, he was working and working and working on something that seemed pointless, right? I mean, how many times did he, try? Does anybody know? I'm honestly not 100% sure myself. I was thinking I had it in my notes, but I don't think I do. Anyways, we all know that he tried and he tried and he tried, right? And he could have easily quit and said, threw in the towel and said, I'm done with this. This is useless. But what would have happened? Somebody else with a little more, what is the word I'm looking for? Persistence. Somebody else with a little more persistence would have come along behind him and swooped up that idea. They would have took the idea he had and made it work because of consistency, consistently putting in the work. Okay. So he tried so many times, and had he quit, he would have never succeeded, right? The only way to fail in a network marketing business is if you quit. So when you make the statements like, I can't do this, I can't do that, you're making it an excuse to walk yourself out the door and quit, okay? That is a choice and a decision you have made. Everybody that signs up for network marketing in any kind of direct sales company, they all start with the same starter kit. They all start with the same opportunity. The only thing that is different for them is what they do with it. So whenever you see somebody, say you already have a small team, all right, and one of your people come to you and they say, well, I can't do this. This don't work for me. Hi, Julie. How are you? They say that I can't do this, or this don't work. And no, they've made a choice that they're not going to do it. Okay. So that's why you have to keep prospecting, and you have to keep looking for new people to add to your team, because it doesn't matter. I know at one point, let's see, there was 26 girls at one point on my team. And I think 4 of them were actually doing something, as far as one of them was like recruiting new people for her team, but she wasn't selling anything. And one of them was selling some stuff, but she wasn't growing her team. Just different aspects like that. One of them was doing events, different things. But only one out of all 26 of those girls was doing all of the things that mattered, that was going to make her business grow as a whole. And that is what is so very important, because it doesn't matter, like I said. Hi, Justina, how are you? It doesn't matter how many times you do something. you're going to have to continue to do that and continue to sift through all of that dirt in order to find your gold as they were sifting through. Justine, I know that you would probably like the picture I showed a while ago. Let me pull it back up so I can show you. And we were talking about, that's two prospectors sifting through water and mud and dirt and everything else to find sometimes just little bitty shreds of gold that back then was worth just pennies. And today they're worth like $10, $12. But occasionally they would find that nugget, okay? And today those nuggets are worth thousands, where back then they were worth, I think it was around 800 on one of the documentaries I watched and stuff, depending on the size of the nugget, of course. But I want you to think about all of the stuff that sifted through and that hit the ground, all of those grains of sand and dirt that went through. Those are people that you've talked to over and over again, right? And they just sift through. They may be people who joined your team at one point, and then they go inactive and they just sift through, okay? But occasionally you are going to catch a hold of a nugget, okay? And you don't want to just do it until you get the one nugget and then stop. You need to continue to do it until you have a whole bunch of nuggets. So many people focus on getting their team to grow deep. It doesn't matter how deep your team grows. That will come naturally, okay? You grow your team wide, all right? Focus on your team, not your team's team. That's up to them. If you are doing your job and making your team wide and training your team to do the same, then that deep will come naturally, okay? So, and like I said, you may have 50 people on your team and only one of those people be doing something that will, get themselves up in the business. So that's why it's important to stay consistent. You have to stay consistent with stuff. And let me check these comments real quick. Hi, Larry. How are you? I'm doing good, Justina. Yes. It is all a process, and it's a numbers game. Hi, Sister Stacy. How are you doing? It's a numbers game, you guys. Have you guys ever read the book called Go for No? That is an amazing network marketing book. And Justina, I was showing them this book here, Rock Your Network Marketing Business by Sarah Robbins. That's a really good one too. But Go for No is so important because when, like from the early ages, and you'll hear them talk about this if you pull up any kind of like YouTube videos or anything from the authors of Go for No. But from like an early age, the word no has been pounded into us as a negative thing, okay? Whenever you go to pick up something, off of the counter that you're not supposed to have as a child, and your mom or your dad, they spat your hand and they say no, okay, you associate that no as a negative thing. So as adults, we don't like to hear the word no still, and that is all part of it. You have to get over the word no. You have to get over that. It is not personal, you guys. When they say they don't want to join your network marketing business, okay, that has nothing to do with you. That has to do with them and it not being the right time for them or the right product for them. You have to have a passion for the product you sell, or you will never stick with it anyways, okay? So if they don't have a passion for that product, then they're not ever going to work out well for you anyways, and as part of your team. And my computer's going dead. But anyways, that is one of the things that is so important, okay, is you have to learn to hear no. And after you hear so many no's as statistics, there is going to be a yes somewhere in there. Is that yes going to be the most extraordinary person that you could ever have as part of your team? Maybe so. Probably not, because you're going to have to get a whole bunch of yeses to find the few yeses that are the ones that are really there for the business part of it. So like when you guys see me make videos and stuff, you're not going to see me talking to the hobbyist. Okay. Having people who are hobbyists and buying for themselves on your team, that's perfect. That is awesome, because that is what they're there for. And that is the only thing they're there for. If they change their mind in the future and want to build a great business out of it, that's awesome too. But when you see me make any kind of live trainings and stuff, this is for people who are business minded, people who want to build a business, okay? Because those are the people that I'm going to put my time and effort into. I'm going to help my hobbyists, yes, because they're going to need to know how to place orders, and they're going to need to know this and that about the product whenever Aunt Sally asks them, what kind of wax does Scentsy use, okay? Justina, I'm sure you've had people ask you what's in the Revital U coffee that you guys have and stuff. Okay. So even if it is somebody that's just there, hi Jonathan, how are you? That is just there for, the hobby part of it, or maybe they're a kit thief, somebody who signs up just to get the starter kit and then you never hear from them again. It doesn't matter. Okay. Those people are needed in your business too. Just know that instead of putting all of your effort into trying to make somebody who just wants it to be a hobby, you cannot make them want a business, okay? You only can want for them what they want for themselves, and it's the only thing you can help them with. So don't put your time and energy into those people when they do come on your team. Yes, be there for them, but do not let them suck you dry from everything else, because when you get those people that are there and business minded on your team, those are the people you're going to want to put your time and your energy and your efforts into. Okay. And if you guys have any questions about any of the books, that people are hungry, yes, they are. That's very funny. But if you guys have any questions about network marketing or about any of the books or anything that I have mentioned here today, the coffee that I brought up, Justina Blackwell Reeves, you see her on there in the comments. She sells this. And then also my real good friend Katie Rankin sells it as well. So, and I know you guys have seen that I had made mention about the coffee myself. That was not me personally selling the coffee. That's my massage business that sells that. I personally am an independent Scentsy consultant. Okay. My massage business sells several other brands as well. But if you guys have any questions about any of the products that I personally sell today, or if y'all have any questions about the business that I'm in, then please let me know, and I will go back and check the comments later on as far as any comments that come through after I end the live feed. And if you guys would like to know, you can get Sarah Robbins' book on sarahrobbins.com. And she also has, for you guys who are interested in buying for your team, she has discounts if you buy in bulk. And I think she also has a lot of free resources on her website too. So that's a good website to go to. And if you guys don't have any more questions right now, hi Brenda, how are you doing? We are all people that are for a treat. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, Justina. You guys are awesome. So